Hello everyone. Today we see about the topic of cover crops in organic farming. This presentation sketch in this video about definition, what is best cover crops by season, cons of cover crops and conventional crop rotation, disadvantages of cover crops and conclusion. First is about definition. A crop planted to prevent soil erosion and to provide humus. It is also defined as think of cover crops as a living mulch. A cover crop is also defined as close growing crop that provides soil protection, seeding protection, and soil improvement between periods of normal crop production. Cover crops that provide good cover and a dense root system help stabilize soils and compact erosion. So it is called as the best cover crop. Cover crop is also defined as permanent soil cover. Permanent soil cover is defined as having a year-round cover either in the form of residue mulch, which is naturally decomposed by microbes in the soil, or cover crops which are either interseeded or planted late in the season. So these are the examples of cover crops. This is raycross and oats. Raycross is the it's a type of cross that is grown for animals such as cows to eat. It's also good for grazing. Next, daikon cross. Daikon means beetroot. It is a fast-growing edible beetroot. Next is a buckwheat. It supports pollinators. It is called papare in Tamil. This is a triangle-shaped peat. Next example, sun kemper. This is the used for forage and soil building superhero. It is also called as a superhero of soil building. Next one is cowpea. It's a leguminous nitrogen fixers. It is called Tamil Karamani or Tattai Pairu. Okay, next is the crimson clover. It's a leguminous and supporters of pollinators. So these are the cover crops. They support. It provides natural means of suppressing all soil diseases and pests. It is cover crops all serve as a mulch or cover to assist in suppressing weed growth. A cover crop can provide high quality material for grazing, livestock or cane and provide food and habitat for wildlife, beneficial insects and pollinators. So cover crop is very important for farmers. Cover crop should be planted around late September or early October so they have a chance to get established before the weather becomes very cold. Next, cover crops by season. First one, winter cover crops. Time to plant introduces another classification. Respectfully, agriculturalists distinguish fall, winter, spring and summer types of cover crops. All of them have a certain specifics in management, advantages or disadvantages. So first we see about winter cover crops. These are mainly cereals planted after fall harvest of grass cultures. Their purpose is to serve as a natural ground seed until spring sows and not to bring yields. Best requirements for the growth are enough warmth in the fall and sufficient moisture in the spring. They prevent soil erosion, compact weeds, conserve moisture, reduce leakage of nutrients, but consume them as well. Also, the seeds require additional costs, may be hard to terminate, has allopathic effects and interfere with primary culture development. Vegetation cover protects from diseases and pathogens, yet may produce quite the opposite results as well, sir. When planting cover agriculture species for winter, farmers should consider the resistance to the frosts. Winter hardy plants survive the harsh cold weather, while winter killed ones are sensitive to considerable temperature drops and die during winter. So these are about the winter cover crops. Next we see about summer cover crops. As the name suggests, this time crops like a summer in between primary species rotations. These practices applied to defeat weeds, erosion, and adjust the earth for the next, next crop. Summer or spring cover crops also serve as a fodder for livestock. They prevent soil from quick drying with the roots compared to bare soils under sun rays. Nevertheless, seeds may establish poorly in summer due to droughts and heat, induced nitrogen deficiency unless these are legumes, require extra residue management or longer time to decompose than expected, thus postponing the time for planting fall primary species. As appears the two major keys to success. First one is right time and correctly chosen agricultural cultures. So these are two of the main key to the success. As benefits may easily they turn into drawbacks when things go wrong. This is where crop monitoring can help farmers to face the challenge using historical data to elaborate productivity maps via comparative analysis. You can choose the optimal time and agriculture species. Next we see about benefits of cover crops and cons of conventional crop rotation. So these are the benefits of cover crops: improved nutrient cycling, increased organic matter, reduced soil erosion, increased weed suppression, increased water absorption, improved wildlife habitat. So these are the cons of conventional crop rotation: increased soil compactation, increased surface runoff, increased nutrient and sediment loss, organic matter degradation, increased risk of heavy rain, increased risk of severe drought. So these are the cons of the conventional crop rotation. So let's detailedly see about the advantages of cover crops. So first one, reduce soil erosion, increase soil organic matter, improve nitrogen cycling, weed suppression, diverse wildlife habitat. So in this heading, one by one we have to see very detailed. So first is about reduce soil erosion. It minimizes the impacts of wind and rain. The root system of a diverse cover crop mixture helps maintain soil structure, conserve water, create pore space, scavenge and recycle nutrients, and also move carbon throughout the soil profile. This is the advantages of cover crop in reduce soil erosion. Next is about increased soil organic matter. First one, it increases aggregation and aggregate stability, creates pore space, improved water infiltration, reduced runoff, increased water capacity, increased surface exchange, increased root growth, improved microbial activity, increased soil fertility, and also greater biological activity. Next advantage is improved nitrogen cycling. By capture the available nitrogen in the soil from previous crop plant. Legume cover crops, that is bees, witches and clovers, fix their own nitrogen and can contribute anywhere from 40 to 200 pounds of nitrogen per acre. Next we see about weed suppression. It promotes the weeds' natural enemies. It's a promotion of weeds' natural enemies. Physical suppression to reduce the weed seed germination and growth. Chemical inhibition to reduce the weed seed germination. Competition for space, nutrients, and light may reduce weed growth. Next, diverse wildlife habitat. It provides habitat for various wildlife including deer, birds, pollinators, and beneficial insects. So these are about the advantages. This is a diagrammatic representation of that is the soil health and quality, that is providing nitrogen. Then it is a retain soil from erosion by giving root. Then it's a suppress of weed growth, and it also improves biodiversity and pollination. So these are the advantages of cover crops. Next we see about disadvantages. So first one is additional cost. Cover crop, seed, labor and time for planting. Alternative equipment may be needed. Planting into residue or interseeding. Second one, pest problems. Some cover crops may attract unwanted insects, so it is important to understand potential interactions between cover crops and pests. Third one, timing. Planting covers early enough in the fall to ensure sufficient growth before winter. Okay, these are the disadvantages of cover crop. Next, conclusion. So this is the advantages. These are potentially great benefits to cover crops, but to be aware of the pros and cons. So these are the references I used for preparing this module. Thank you.